Hey, how's everybody doing? It's been a long day today. I was just finishing up with some clients, so that's why 7:30-ish was a little bit more like 8 o'clock, pretty much. So just wanted, this is gonna be brief. I wanted to talk a little bit about fear. That's one of the things that I know last time when I was doing these live videos last week, I was talking about accepting all parts of you, right? And fear is a part that a lot of us have. You know, it really comes from the very beginnings of our existence. Often fear-based thinking comes from our parents, and not to blame all parents, but especially first-time parents are very fearful of anything that can happen to their children, right? All of you guys who have children know the very first, like Brene Brown says in a lot of her, in probably her Netflix special, she said this, and other books that she's written, she talks about, you know, the most blissful moment is when you look at that child and in their sleeping bed and you're like, oh my God, I love this child. I can never love anything more than I love this child. And then all of a sudden in 2 seconds, it goes to like, oh my God, what if this kid dies? And, you know, it's that fear. And a lot of our fear is based upon, you know, what our parents have to go through when they become first-time parents, right? So it's like the fear, that fear that you impose on your child when they're sleeping and looking all beautiful is what is imposed on us when we're growing up, right? So don't touch that, you're gonna burn yourself. Don't do this because you're gonna, you know, whatever. It's that that programming, that subconscious program that happens very early on in our lives. And if you watched any of my earlier videos, I talked a little bit about subconscious programming, because our subconscious mind, the part of our brain that holds every single emotion, every single memory, the full capacity of our brain is, you know, can't really remember all these things, but it's back there. Think about the hard drive in your computer that holds every single file, every single thing you've ever written on your phone. All these things are held in what in our brain is our subconscious mind. And oftentimes and it holds emotion, right? Not just memory, but emotion. And when a similar situation arises, this emotion is invoked, right? The memory may not be completely invoked, but the emotions are invoked. So one of the most primal emotions that we feel is fear, right? Think about the fight or flight response, which lives in our amygdala. We are now in this world, in the world that we live in, very modern world, we are consistently in fight or flight mode. Before, our ancestors, they knew exactly when to be in fight, and they knew exactly when to be in flight, right? Flight mode. There was a time and a place for everything. But we live in this very overstimulated world that our brain consistently resides in fight or flight. Think about when you're in the car, right? And you're driving, and somebody like swerves too close to you. All of a sudden, you know, your parasympathetic nervous system starts going, and your heart beats, and you probably want to kill the person because you're scared for your life. But you know, our fears are smaller, but they're much bigger, right? So our ancestors were running away from whatever, dinosaurs or from predators. They had to hunt their food. So it was a good time. I mean, it was a time when that response was appropriate, and then they would go into their village and they would be okay, and you know, they would be able to relax, and they would you know, all these things so it got turned on and it got turned off. Nowadays it just pretty much stays on, and the state of the world definitely yes, Joelle, fear is a liar. You're very correct. You know, fear is something that we impose upon ourselves, that we you know, the smallest thing can cause fear. And fear is also ego-based, and the ego is definitely a liar. And you know, think about the thing that you've wanted to do your whole entire life, right? Maybe it's start your own business, maybe it's quit your job and tell your boss, you know, kiss my ass. Maybe it's those things that, you know, that you could never ever do because you're trying to be the good girl or the good guy or whatever. Fear holds you back. that is kind of the bottom line. Fear definitely can hold you back from living your life, living your true existence. And I chose fear to talk about because it was one of the parts that came up for me, putting myself out there and doing these live videos. As you guys know, if you watched my previous videos, I'm like, oh my God, I hate doing these live videos. One of my biggest fears, and I want to know what you guys, some of you guys' biggest fears is to be seen. I know that might be a little weird for some of you guys who know me, because when I'm in a room, I'm in a room, right? I'm in a room, but it is to be seen in this way, right? So you guys are watching me live right now. So you're seeing all my little nuances, all my little faces. Like when I'm with clients, I don't care what faces I make. I don't care how I sound. I don't care any of that. But to be on this platform of being seen in this way and talking to you guys about fear, or talking to you guys about things that I talk to my clients all day, every day, right? And sometimes I speak very profoundly about these things, but you stick this camera in front of my face and it kind of goes out the window. I don't want to seem redundant or like I'm, just pulling stuff out of my butt or whatever it is. So that's the fear that I have when I put myself on a platform like this. But I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So the things that you are the most scared of are probably the things that you are supposed to be doing the most. So think about that. I'm going to say that again. The things that you are the most scared of are probably the things that you are supposed to be doing the most, right? So putting yourself out there, that's my fear. Putting myself out there, even though I've always, even as a little girl, have had dreams of putting myself out there. Not to be famous, because that's, whatever. That comes with a whole host of other problems. But as we know, right? We watch all the stars and all the people, rich and famous people, and they're not happy, not as happy as they could be with all the money and all the whatever. But anyway, I digress. But it's fear. If you are scared of something, then what you need to do is leap and do it. You need to just take the chance to do it. When I started my own business, not necessarily by choice, it was by the universe kicking me in the ass and saying, you need to do this because you said you were going to do this and now it's time to do it. It was one of the most scariest things I have ever done in my life. Even though I knew that I was done working for people, I hated working for people. Working for people was for the birds, and it definitely wasn't for me, because if any of you guys know and have known me for a long time, I'm a little bit of a rebel and don't like to be told what to do, especially by people who I feel probably can be slight morons or whatever, and I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, but as you guys know, sometimes you outgrow your jobs, right? And sometimes you outgrow your managers at your job. Sometimes you feel like you know more than them, because there's a lot of people who want to stay stagnant and be in the same position. So when I decided to do this, like I said, not necessarily by choice at the time. It was going to be by choice in 2 years, but the universe said, no, you're not waiting 2 years. You're going to do it now. I remember, I had some money, little money, because I'm not great at saving money. And I had to find an office. I had to buy furniture. I had to do marketing and advertising and all those things. And those things became so daunting to me that one day I was sitting in the park, because that's my happy place, right? I sit in the park, I take in some sunshine, do a little meditation, whatever, just to kind of ground myself. But I wasn't able to. I started breathing really, really hard, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what is happening? I felt like I was having a heart attack. Like literally felt like I was having a heart attack, and I couldn't regulate my breathing, and that was the culmination of fear, but also the culmination of evolution of this new life that I was stepping into. I didn't know that at the time, and I didn't feel like that. It just felt like I was dying. And I did something that you should never do, and I'm telling you guys, don't ever do this. Whenever you're having symptoms, do not Google it. Do not look on WebMD, because I did exactly that. And what did I Google? Symptoms in a woman who's having a heart attack, right? So pretty much 6 out of the 5 I was having. Chest pains, I couldn't breathe. I had a pain in my arm. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So I drove myself to the hospital. My blood pressure was out of control, all these things. And when I got to the bed in the emergency room, the doctor comes in, and I felt slightly foolish. And I was like, doctor, I had never had one of these before, but by this time I knew what was happening. So I said, doctor, okay, I know what's happening. I know I'm having a panic attack. I know that this is, you know, I mean, but my blood pressure was high enough that they were concerned. Obviously, they put me back there, whatever. I was like, I know that this is what's happening. I've had a major life change and blah, blah, blah. So it was funny, but not funny all at the same time, because I really thought I was dying. And I had to, by the time I left the hospital, I was like, you know, fear, like Joelle said, you're a damn liar, and screw you, and I'm gonna take this on, and I'm gonna do the best that I can, and I did. And you know, I let myself take that leap and say, this is happening, this is meant to happen, and I'm going to do it, right? So if there's anything that you guys are scared of out there, and I'm even talking about being scared of death. You know, why are we scared of death? It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Now, if you are scared of death every single day, and you know, you think of crazy ways that you're gonna die. Like, I have some clients that, you know, they'll think about, when they're driving in the car, they'll think about dying in a car accident, and they, you know, I'm like, you know, the last thing that I said in my last video last week is, the words that you speak into existence co-create your life. So be careful what you say, right? You might not get into that fatal car accident, but because you're thinking about getting into a car accident, somebody might hit you from behind and you might get into a fender bender. And guess what that does? It confirms your fears. Don't let the other things in the universe, right? The dark things in the universe, and you know, darkness isn't a bad thing. The dark evil things are not the greatest thing, but don't let those dark things in the universe confirm your fears. You know, if you have a fear, question it, examine it. Why are you fearful of these things? What happened that made you fearful of these things, right? Again, going back to the fear of death, we're all going to die eventually. But if you continue to fear death, then you're not living, right? You're not living your life. If you're thinking about dying constantly, you are not enjoying the present moment, and you are not living in your existence, right? Because the only thing that we know is now. The only thing that we can feel and experience and is reality is this moment right now. You guys watching this, me doing this, and having a slight panic attack about you guys watching this. That's the reality of it, right? I don't know what's going to happen when I leave through this door or whatever, but I don't think, oh, I'm going to leave through the door and a, you know, air conditioner is going to fall on me. Like, that is not a way to live, right? So if we live in our fears, we're not living. We are just worrying. We are manifesting the worst case scenarios, and that is not a way to live, right? So take fear by the balls and say, screw you. I'm not going to let you, you know, I'm not going to let you lead my life. I'm going to be curious. I'm going to lean into this fear, and I'm going to see what I'm supposed to learn from it, or what I'm supposed to do from it, right? So like I said in the beginning, if it's fear of trying something new, if you have a great talent, you know, you're a great party planner, or you're a great whatever, you know, cake decorator, or whatever it is, and you are constantly saying to yourself, or you're letting your ego say to yourself, you know, I can't make any money doing this. Or if you let other people say to you, oh, you can't make any money doing this. You know, if you let other people's fears come into your life, then you're definitely, then it confirms your fears, and it keeps you in the same exact place, living the same boring existence, right? We are meant to be here to enjoy, to grow, to be satisfied in this human existence, to learn, to connect with each other on all levels. And on every single level, no matter what your color is, no matter what your size is, no matter what we are meant to, we all come from the same place. We all come from the same source, right? So lean into your fear, be curious about it, right? Don't try to push it away. Be curious about the fear. Question it. Why is this fear here? What is it supposed to do for me? What am I supposed to learn? Where am I supposed to go with this fear, right? So don't hate it. You know, like I spoke, this is a part of you, right? This is one of the dark parts of you. And we all experience fear. Anybody who tells you that they haven't been fearful in their life is a damn lie, because we all experience fear at some point in time, whether it's for our children, whether it's for ourselves, whether it's for other loved ones. We all have the experience of fear, right? So my last words to you is lean into it, be curious, explore the fear, and see what it tells you. Where do you have to go with this? Where is it going next? You know, you have people out there that can help you. You have connections to people. If you're scared of doing something, ask somebody who's already done it, right? When I started my own business, what did I do? I started listening to podcasts. I talked to my friends who had done it. You know, I had a lot of people in my corner saying, you can do this, you know? Fear is what's going to hold you back. So a way that, you know, I love to help people with fear, even though I have my own fears, right? I'm still human. You know, just because, like I said in other videos, life is a work in progress. We are always a work in progress. Am I better than I was 5 years ago? Am I better than I was 5 minutes ago? Yeah. But I am always going to be a work in progress. And if I stop seeing growth within myself or think, oh, I'm an expert, I can do this, you know, then that's ego. And that is only going to give me more fear, right? I know that I'm always going to continue to learn. I'm always going to continue to read books. I'm always going to continue to learn from my clients, to learn from my friends, to learn from my family, to learn from strangers, because that's what we're here to do. You never stop learning, right? You can never be completely perfect, you know? There's no such thing as that, right? We are all imperfect. And if we lean into that and if we accept those things about us, then we will be okay. And we will be on this journey together, learning together, helping each other, lift each other up, right? That's what connections are for. That's what, you know, and that's kind of my purpose. One of my biggest purpose with this first retreat that I'm doing, because this is something that I'm going to be doing hopefully monthly. And I know that's another fear that's been coming up for me, right? It's like, oh my God, is this going to happen? Are people interested in this? Do they really want to know what I have to say? Are they, you know, do they really want to do this? You know what? Those are things that thoughts that I've had, thoughts that I have on a daily basis. I push them aside and I say, you know what? I want to do this. I know people need this. And if I want to help people on a big grander scale in bigger numbers, then I have to do this. This is what I know I need to do. This is what I know I'm meant to do. And this retreat on June 15th is going to help people conquer their fears, right? I'm not saying, you know, you're going to come to my retreat and you're going to be fearless and no, we're going to start the process to that point, right? We're going to do a kickoff for you to say, you know what? I don't have to fear because I'm going to be in a safe place. I'm going to be in a group with like-minded people. This group hopefully will continue to grow, and every month that we do this, we are going to get bigger and we're going to get better and we're going to get stronger. You know, I want to create a beautiful flock of beautiful souls that are going to help each other. You know, some of my girlfriends that are watching right now, they have their little running flock, right? They have their little running group. And I've seen so many of the women that belong to those groups just flourish and become confident and really find their way. And that is exactly what I'm trying to create, just on a different level, because I don't like to run. Y'all know this. I don't like to run. That's not my thing. I love the fact that all my girls love to do that, but I'm not a runner. I'll do yoga all day. I'll do weights all day, but I am not running. There's something, and I need to work on that because that must be a past life thing because I've always hated running. But anyway, I digress yet again. I want to create a space for women and men, hopefully eventually men who are like-minded, in touch with their divine feminine, really respect the feminine power and the masculine, you know, balanced power, for all of us to come together and really start to build a community of souls to help others in your own community, right? So I want to bring people from all different communities together to connect with each other, to deal with fear, to deal with resistance, to really start attacking those parts of us that hold us back from being our true and whole selves. And that is my mission, starting with, you know, the permission granted. That's why it's called Permission Granted, Become Your Own Warrior. I want everyone to find their inner warrior and really start to share this message in your own communities, throughout the world, throughout whatever, you know, wherever you go. I want you guys to be able to touch everybody with your beautiful souls. And I want to help you find that. I want to help you find that connection, attack that fear, use the fear for the benefit of whatever next step you need to take in your life, right? So with that said, early bird special ends tomorrow, but because I'm feeling a little generous, I'm going to extend it until Friday. So early bird special ends Friday. So it's $149. If you need a deposit, you know, to do a deposit, it'll be a non-refundable deposit of $60. PM me. I will make that arrangement. I'll send you the link to that. there's going to be some amazing food, breakfast and lunch, and we are just going to have a really soul-rich, life-moving day, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to cry, and we're going to bond, and we're going to do all these amazing things. I'm going to bring my Tibetan singing bowls because I love them. I know you guys, the people who have known me for a really long time, you're like, what the hell is up with Jessica? This is my journey, and I want to share it with you. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to do these things, right? I'm not saying join me, you know, be a sound healer like, you know, like I've started to do. No, I'm saying just, you know, let me share my gifts with you so that I can help you become the better you, right? I know you're already amazing, but I want you to be super amazing, okay? So, the link will be in the comments, and I hope you decide to join me. It's gonna be an amazing, amazing day. And I'm telling y'all, the food is amazing. The food is so good. It's a gourmet chef, and we're gonna commune, we're gonna dance, we're gonna sing, we're gonna do all kinds of things. All right, so I will see you guys on June 15th, and let me know what your biggest fear is. All right, I wanna know, comment below, and I will see you guys soon. All right, love you guys.